Dana White just went live on Instagram to announce some fights, and I do have a bit of problems with it. As you can see with my tweets here, I tweeted before Dana White went live. I tweeted at Dana White, "Go live, you fat bald fuck," because he said he was gonna go live, and it took him forever. He finally went live. I was there for it live. I didn't record my reaction, but we're gonna go over them. But as you can see, after it was over, I tweeted, "We literally knew about all these fights, you dumb bald fuck." So, as you could tell, I was a little upset. Not that we didn't get good fights, because obviously, we got good fights. It's just I wanted some new, fresh fight announcements that we didn't see coming, like a Patty match. No Patty Pimblett matchup, no Armin matchup, no Gaethje, no Hooker, no Ilya. Dude, the lightweight division needs some life right now. Needs some life. It needs some fight announcements. Dan Hooker needs a fight. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing here, Baldy? What are we doing here? Annoying, man. But we can go through the ones that he did release. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 fights that we're gonna go through. Now it is 10:51 p.m. I do have work at 8 in the morning, so I am going to go through these a bit quickly. But obviously, when these fights are happening, I'll obviously in my prediction video go into more detail. I'm just gonna go over all these fights as a whole, talk about the Instagram live, talk about these fights quickly. We're gonna start off with the big one: Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. We knew this fight was coming, so I was hoping that this wouldn't be on the Instagram live because we all knew it was coming. But I guess to hear it straight from the mouth of Dana White and to have an official date is nice. November 15th. I am gonna go with Jack Della Maddalena because I gotta be honest here. I do believe in the Paul Craig system. I gotta be honest. The Paul Craig system of grappling against Dagestanis does actually seem to be pretty good. Obviously, you've seen it in the first fight with Volk and Islam. Volk did really well at defending that grappling overall. Obviously, there was some rounds where Islam had some good control, but he didn't get finished and made it to a decision against Islam where some people thought he actually won. I thought Islam won on rewatch. But still, it was still impressive to see what Volk did, especially being smaller. Jack Della is much bigger and much stronger than Volkanovski with very similar defensive grappling because they both work with Craig Jones. And the boxing of Jack Della Maddalena is going to give Islam real problems on the feet as well. I know Islam is good on the feet as well. I don't know if I see him being successful here. Islam is a good wrestler, and he is a good grappler and striker. He's good overall, but one of his biggest attributes is his size and strength for the lightweight division. He outsizes and outmuscles a lot of these guys, so he can just kind of do what he wants. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Jack Della Maddalena. Jack Della is big. He's huge for the 170-pound division. He's strong. He has great defensive grappling. He's amazing hands, the best hands in the entire division. I see Jack taking this, honestly. And it goes back to just JDM fight with Bilal. Bilal and Islam, I think they're training together maybe once or a few times. Obviously, I do think Islam is better than Bilal, way better than Bilal. So this is going to be a harder fight for Jack than the Bilal fight was, because Jack won all 5 rounds against Bilal Muhammad pretty clearly. He's not going to do that here to Islam. He's going to have to fucking work for it. Not a free paycheck like the Bilal fight was. But, dude, are you going to really tell me at this stage, in their careers, that Dustin Poirier is a better boxer than Jack Della Maddalena? Are you really going to tell me that? I don't think so. And I think he has better anti-grappling as well than Dustin Poirier, especially at this point in their careers. I don't see Islam. I don't want to say I don't see Islam winning this, because he can definitely win it. I'm pretty confident though in Jack Della Maddalena here, which is crazy because I never thought I'd be confident picking against Islam Makhachev, but I got Jack Della here. I got Jack Della Maddalena winning here. I'm very excited for it, though. Very, 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 very excited for it. Man, it's a good fight. Moving on to Mario Bautista versus Umar Nurmagomedov. This is fine. I much rather would have had Umar versus Song Yudong, because spoiler alert, I think Song Yudong beats Umar Nurmagomedov. But Umar versus Mario Bautista, this is actually pretty decent here. I am gonna go with Umar though. I do think that Mario Bautista's got a chance, of course he's got a chance. But I've learned one too many times to not pick against Russians. You know, picked Pereira over Ankalaev, picked Corey Sandhagen over Umar, picked against fucking Khabib once or twice, picked against Islam a few times on the come up. I just you know, I can't pick against these guys. And Umar is really good. He just is. And Bautista's gonna be better on the feet here, but I mean, he's been taken down and controlled. It's not easy to do. By no means is taking down and controlling Mario Bautista an easy thing to do, but it's happened before to lesser guys than Umar. So I think Umar, he has good striking. I think he can mix the striking in with the grappling and get Mario Bautista down enough times to win the fight. Umar Nurmagomedov is not a finisher, though. A lot of times, other than the Raoni Barcelos fights, he really doesn't put much damage on his opponents. You know, typical Dagestani. I'm joking. Because Islam and Khabib, they beat people's ass, so can't really say too much. But, yeah. I would like to see Mario Bautista win, to be honest. But I do think Umar's going to win. I just think he's too good of a grappler, and his striking is good enough that he can genuinely not only use his striking to set up takedowns, but he can be a genuine threat on the feet without takedowns to Mario Bautista. So I'm going to go Mario Bautista. No, I'm not. I'm going with Umar Nurmagomedov here. The comments. Perfect matchmaking. Okay. Bet the house. Let's go the distance. Oh, yeah. 100%. Is this 3 rounds? It is. This is 3 rounds. There's 0 chance for a finish on, like, either side. So this is a decision, no doubt. But I got Umar. Man. But Bautista's good. I bet you there's going to be some real value on Mario Bautista. Because I bet you he's going to be like a crazy underdog, bro. He's probably going to be like a fucking 3-1 underdog or some shit. Moving on. That is a terrible picture of Verna. I think we should actually probably go over, where is it? This first, actually. Might as well go over this first. Weili Zhang has vacated her belt at 115 pounds. She is going up to challenge Valentina Shevchenko. This is huge, guys. Not very often will you see me get super hyped off of a WMMA fight. Now, I don't want to say that to be, to sound rude, but this is huge, guys. This is huge. Valentina Shevchenko, fun fact, I have never once in my entire life picked against her. I've never once picked her to lose a fight. Same with Weili. I've never picked Weili to lose a fight. So which one am I going to finally pick to lose a fight for the first time in their careers? Valentina. I got Weili Zhang winning. I just think she is younger, I believe. I'm not going to fact check, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I don't think I am. I think Valentina's older. She's also got more mileage, I believe. And she hasn't looked too great recently. Lost to Alexa Grasso. I thought she beat Alexa Grasso pretty clearly in the rematch. They gave Alexa Grasso the worst 10-8 in UFC history, allowing that fight to go to a draw. And then Valentina, although she completely dominated the trilogy, it was very damageless and very lay and prey on top-ish. You can't do that against Weili Zhang. You seriously just can't. She's way too good for that. And Valentina just beat Manon Fior, I believe is how you pronounce her name. And I thought Valentina won that fight. But if you really try and you really dig at it, you could probably try to find a win there for Manon Fior. So, but I think Wei Li would beat Manon Fior. I think, So, I got Wei Li Zhang winning here. My only issue is I don't want Wei Li Zhang to look too small out there. I know Wei Li Zhang isn't necessarily... I mean, she's very muscular, but she's kind of tiny. You know what I'm saying? She's very muscular though, very big for her size. But she's, I don't know. She can definitely be small out here, but I'm gonna go with Wei Li Zhang here though. I'm gonna go with Wei Li Zhang here. Yeah, I love this fight. Moving on, Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern for the vacant strawberry championship. How about that? Ooh. I'm gonna go with Verna Jandiroba here. Cause Mackenzie Dern, I'm gonna just keep it real here. I'm gonna keep it real, no filter, 100% honest here. Mackenzie Dern is not a good fighter. She is literally an awful fighter. She has good jiu-jitsu. That's it. She can't strike. She can't wrestle. She doesn't have any power. She isn't physically strong. She got absolutely dominated to She got dominated to hell's end and back by Amanda Lemos, who Verna beat. Dominated to hell's end by Andrade. I think she's even Andrade's last win. Andrade can't beat anybody anymore. And she dominated Mackenzie Dern. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Mackenzie Dern literally cannot fight. If she doesn't throw up a Hail Mary submission arm bar, she doesn't win fights. It's simple as that. And I think Verna Jandiroba is just too good in the grappling to let that happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Mackenzie Dern pulling a Mackenzie Dern here. I don't see her pulling a Paul Craig. So, Verna Jandiroba is going to be better probably on the feet and on the ground. I see this being very dominant and one-sided for Verna Jandiroba. Sorry. Mackenzie Dern can't fight. She's not good at fighting. She just can't. She can't do it. If this was a jiu-jitsu tournament, UFC BJJ, Mackenzie Dern would win. But it's not. It's mixed martial arts. They're going to mix the martial arts. And Verna Jandiroba is much better at that. So, yeah. Moving on to Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. This should have been on the fucking UFC Rio card. Perfect for the UFC Rio card, but I don't know what the holdup was there. But nonetheless, November 15th, UFC 322, we'll take it. We'll take it, man. We'll take it. I got Carlos Prates, man, by knockout. Leon Edwards is in that point of his career where he's reached the peak. He's been champion. He had his title defense. He lost the title and then got dominated and got finished even worse in his next fight. And I really only see it going downhill here for Leon. Because Leon has a weak mindset. Leon has a weak mindset, and he always has. That's one thing about Leon Edwards is when fights other than the Kamaru Usman knockout, which is why it is so iconic, is because Leon Edwards always gives up on himself when things aren't going his way. He is a fighter where if it's going his way, it's good. He's looking great. He's looking masterful. But when he's losing, he gives up. He's a weak mentality. He doesn't do what he needs to do in the final round to pull it off, other than that one knockout against the Kamaru Usman. And that's just the way it is with Leon Edwards. I don't see him having his way with Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is going to make Leon Edwards work. And Leon is going to do what Leon does best and give up. And I think it's going to be a round 3 knockout. I think Carlos Prates is going to lay it on him, dude. Nasty knockout for Carlos Prates in round 3 of their fight. Leon can grapple. And honestly, I'm not too familiar with the ground game of Carlos Prates, but if it sucks, maybe Leon can get a sub here, because Leon is a really good grappler. So, but for now, I got Carlos Prates. Moving on. Oh yeah, Alexander Hernandez versus Carlos Diego Ferreira. Carlos Diego Ferreira is gonna win. I picked against Alexander Hernandez just recently. I picked Chase Hooper to win. My bad. I didn't know Chase Hooper had no idea how to fight. But Carlos Diego Ferreira does know how to fight 100%, and he's just better. Like, you know, he's but like this guy says, yeah, Ferreira's gonna kill him. Yeah, he's gonna kill him. Moving on. Walter Walker will fight Muhammad Usman. I was a little upset because I did want the Walter Walker versus Ryan Spann fight. I think that's a bit more interesting. There's no win here for Muhammad Usman, I don't think. I think Walter Walker's going to get another heel hook in a row. Because Muhammad Usman, I don't think he's that good. Like, he's okay, right? He's okay. He's a heavyweight in the heavyweight division. He's not as fat as some of the other guys. We could probably beat those guys, but Walter Walker is not super fat. He's not morbidly obese, so he'll probably win. Walter Walker, though, he's still a bit unproven. Lost to Bretsky, terrible fucking loss. And then every fight since then, it was just like a round one heel hook. So we really don't have any other information on Walter Walker, but I'm going with Walter Walker by heel hook, though. Moving on, Mayra Bueno versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Real ones are taking Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Jacqueline Cavalcanti is really good, and Mayra Bueno is good as well, but not as good. Very overrated during her come up. She was never gonna beat Raquel Pennington. I don't know who the fuck picked her to beat Raquel. That was a night and day easy prediction. I picked Raquel, easy as hell. She then lost to Macy Chiasson. Why are you losing to Macy Chiasson? You know, at UFC 303, I think it was. Jacqueline Cavalcanti's she's good. She's a really good striker. Uses her range really well. Look, Cavalcanti masterclass. I think that's a given. I think this is a Jacqueline Cavalcanti win here. 100%. Moving on to I didn't click this one yet. Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez. Oh, you can see my comment there. I actually think this matchup is a bit interesting. I do think it's a bit interesting. I will be going with Aaron Blanchfield though. I just think Aaron Blanchfield's grappling is a bit too good. Although I thought her grappling was good versus Manon Fiorot, literally couldn't do anything. So whatever. Can't really predict women's MMA, honestly. I mean, Tracy Cortez can go out there and fucking sleep her with a spinning wheel kick, and it'll just be like, oh, that's WMMA, as unpredictable as ever. But I am going to go with Aaron Blanchfield, though. I know that Tracy Cortez can grapple, and I actually picked her to win her last fight via grappling. But there's just levels to the grappling, and Aaron Blanchfield, I think, is better, you know? So, like, I don't think Tracy Cortez is taking down and subbing Jessica Andrade in a round. So, yeah. I love the Muppet Fighting Championship. I love the Muppet pictures that they post under every fucking fight announcement. Look, there they are again. This fucking fight right here, Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. If you guys don't know, I'm gonna pull it up for you guys right now. But if you guys do not know, I thought that Gabriel Bonfim lost to Wonderboy. I thought Wonderboy won that fight on damage pretty clearly. I thought that was kind of, I hate throwing around the word robbery, but I do think Wonderboy won. Right here. If you guys do not know, MMA Guru tweeted this. Hey, touch and go, Randy Brown. Destroy Gabriel Bonfim for us. We demand his demise. You will bring him to justice for his crimes of robbery and theft, UFC Nashville. I do think Randy Brown is going to sleep Gabriel Bonfim in such bad fashion here. I don't think this is going to be close. I do rate Gabriel Bonfim. I do think Bonfim is good. I think he has potential. But this is just a really fucking bad matchup for him against Randy Brown, I think. Randy Brown is way too good on the feet. And I don't think Gabriel Bonfim is strong enough to get it to the ground, at least often enough. So I will be going with Randy Brown by vicious TKO here. So oh yeah, dude. Moving on to yes, young Unk versus old Unk matchup here. Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny. What a matchup. This is actually a really good matchup and really good matchmaking as well. I like this matchmaking. I'm going with Jake Matthews pretty easily. I think Jake Matthews is just too good for Neil Magny. I always pick against Neil Magny. I haven't picked Neil Magny to win a fight since he fought Michael Chiesa. And he lost! So I'm going with Jake Matthews, dude. Did you just see what he did to Chidi and Njokuani at UFC Nashville? Did you see what he did to Chidi and Njokuani? Few seconds in, hops on the back, choke. Standing rear naked choke him out. Neil Magny's not going to know what hit him. I am going to go with Jake Matthews here by finish, probably by knockout. Don't know if he gets another sub, especially on Neil Magny. Neil Magny is a harder guy to sub. Much easier to knock this guy out, honestly, so a little late in Jake's career for the Magny test, eh? I'm going to be going with Jake Matthews, though. Now, the next one. I want to prepare you guys for the next one, okay? Let me pull up some things for this next and last fight I'm going to be talking about here. All right. Let's see here. All right, so I think they start right here. Okay. Charles fucking Jourdain season, boys. We are back in session. Look. Dude, hold on. I got Charles Jourdain winning here. Look at this. Charles Jourdain season. We are back, boys. Woohoo. Woohoo. I got Charles Jourdain. I know Davy Grant is a very hard matchup for anybody, especially up-and-coming prospects who have a lot to learn. Charles Jourdain has, although for his age, has a lot of experience, and I think he's just, I think Charles Jourdain is too skillful for Davy Grant. Now, I've been going for people on Twitter. Look. Davy Grant by Masterclass. I quote tweeted, right? Davy Grant by Masterclass. I quote tweeted, these people are clueless. You know, just getting behind my boy. You know what I'm saying? Charles Jourdain is my favorite fighter in the UFC. Number one. Davy should win easily, but always scared about the judges with him, especially in Canada. We will point and laugh. We will point and laugh at you if you pick Davy Grant here, because he's not going to win. Right? Davy fucking his Canadian ass up. You're never allowed on the train after you are proven wrong. If you pick Davy Grant in this fight, you cannot ever be on the Charles Jourdain train, dude. We're leaving. We're leaving after this fight, and we're not stopping again. Easy Davy easy win. Apologize to me and Jourdain when it's over. Apologize, dude. You know? And obviously I posted a lot more. I'm gonna show you this one though. I posted this one that I really like a lot. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Enough of my phone, though. I'm going Charles Jourdain here, man. Charles Jourdain is just, you know, he's too well-rounded, man. He's such a slick boxer. He's such a slick boxer. Moves really well. Has good leg kicks as well. Body kicks. He's flashy. Loves the jumping kicks, jumping knees. Davey Grant's not going to be prepared for those. And he can grapple. That's one thing. Charles Jourdain can grapple. I was telling people before the Gene Silva fight, Charles Jourdain can grapple. And people didn't listen. Didn't listen. And after Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva was announced, people were posting videos of Charles Jourdain taking down Gene Silva to be like, this is why Bryce Mitchell's going to win this weekend. And I'm like, bro, I've been trying to tell you that Charles Jourdain can grapple offensively and defensively. It's not, getting taken down by Charles Jourdain is not a bad look because Charles Jourdain can grapple really well. And if he locks up a guillotine, he doesn't lose them. Charles Jourdain doesn't lose guillotines. When he locks them up, he gets the submission every single time. I don't know how much more Charles Jourdain has to show you guys for you to believe in him. I mean, you know? I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? But yeah, that's going to wrap this video up. I got Charles Jourdain here. Beautiful, beautiful fights we got coming up for the rest of this year. The rest of this year is looking for UFC fans. Oh, man. That's going to wrap this video up. 26 minutes. Damn! 26 minutes. I'm okay with that. I got in the video before. I keep hiccuping for no fucking reason at all. But yeah. This fight here. I got Jack Della. Jack Della Maddalena. JDM by fucking TKO, mate.